This is the Woodstock Honey Fight for Life, live from the Trust Stadium and Arena in Waitakere, Auckland. The main event, Joseph Parker making his third entrance into the professional arena, going up against veteran Richard Tutaki. We're just moments away. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the main event of the night. Joseph Parker up against Richard Tutaki, brought to you by Woodstock Honey. Let's join Lieutenant Dan Hennessy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the main event of the evening. Would somebody somewhere please make some noise? This is a professional heavyweight bout scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds. It is sponsored by Woodstock Honey. Now making his way to the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, this is Richard, the Tutaki Express, Tutaki!
Yes, the Tutaki Express is no stranger to the hurt game, to boxing. He's been around a while, 34 years old. Well, he's had 34 fights for 20 wins and 22 losses and 1 draw. He's fought the likes of Shane Cameron. He's fought the likes of Bob Mirovic before, Hopewadi and Chauncey Welliver. And a stepping stone for Joseph Parker to gain more experience on his way up to follow the footsteps of David Tour and Shane Cameron and the other good heavyweights that have come out of New Zealand.
This guy in his last 10 pro fights is 4-6. All of his losses are by knockout, so that means that we find out what kind of power Parker has tonight, because for Joseph, in reality, to fight a guy with 20 victories is a big step up in class for him too early in his career, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Tutaki, he's got a useful jab. He's not particularly fast. He's not a boxer that you would consider slick. He relies on a very durable chin, not so good around the midsection. People tend to break him down by going to his body, but he does throw a looping, hooking right hand, which can be very heavy.
Here he is, Richard Tutaki, a record of 20 wins, 22 losses, 1 draw, 9 knockouts from right here in Auckland. Turned pro in June of '06, stopping Tito Latuse in Auckland. Stopped his first 3 professional opponents, all by early round KOs.
And it must be funny too, being like on a card like this with a pro fight, a young guy like Joseph Parker coming in. You know you're up against it, so you've got to go out there and fight with a bit of mana, right?
I mean, these guys, Richards is a journeyman. He's been in there with all the top guys in Australasia. He's not expected to win. He's expected to give them a good workout. He's one of those guys that has a record enough against lower ranked fighters that he's stacked up 20-odd wins. And if you take him lightly, yes, you can get caught. But if you're careful, don't make any mistakes, he's a guy you should be able to break down.
This guy's a professional, he has pride. And remember last week I called a fight in which one guy was a prohibitive favorite, Manny Pacquiao, and he went face down. So anything can happen in heavyweight boxing especially. It's not likely, but neither was last week likely. Here he comes, Richard Tutaki.
So that's a real contrast for you, Colonel Bob, going from Pac-Man and Marquez to the fight for life.
I'll tell you, it's just as exciting for me to be here because the enthusiasm and the fans. I realize how important these athletes are that play rugby league and union to this country, and I really love being part of it.
What I like about the change in the Parker camp is they've brought Lee Perori in for that fitness, to develop that strength and that power, but also with that speed as well, because that's where I thought, and we've talked a bit about this before, what he has to work on to develop his style. He's got plenty of talent. I like the fact that JUCO events with Dan Higgins and Dean Lonergan are now in his corner to give him a bit more direction. Push him. We need to see the best out of this kid, because I think he hasn't really delivered to his ability that he's got his potential.
Look, he's got rid of the guys he's had put in front of him so far. A little bit early in his career, he's got to adapt to the program. He's got to hit harder. That conditioning from Lee Perori, we saw what effect he can have, the way he got David Tour into fantastic shape for his fight against Shane Cameron. So that's a good man to have backing you. He will be in primo condition. What he needs to do now, sit on his shots, pick his punches, and just break this man down like a pro.
Two men that I really respect in boxing think that he has all the tools. One of them is well known here in New Zealand. He's Kevin Barry. He thinks that he's got everything to be a tremendous professional fighter. The other is Ray Wheatley, who's vice president of the IBF and publisher of World of Boxing. Ray thinks this kid is really that, so we'll find out. I'm anxious. I met his mother and dad tonight. They're wonderful people. Therefore, you see they've raised a wonderful son. That's what makes a great professional athlete. And Joseph has got great people around him. You mentioned Lee Perori, but he's also got Sir Bob Jones, and then you mentioned also signing with Duco Events to promote him. He's got everything going his way.
Of course, his dad's got a great boxing pedigree in the background as well. Of course, you've got former middleweight world champ Marcelino Massari. There he is there. I mean, he's been to Vegas with David Tour, so he knows about all that hype and how to handle it. But turn it into results. So will he not go for a first-round knockout, or will he just push Tutaki Express around and get more ring craft and a bit more ring time, perhaps?
Well, ring time's important at this stage in a young pro's career. And the thing, too, he only has 3 fights as a pro. He's on a main event, on a big card in front of thousands of people, and it's how he handles that pressure that is really key to his development as well.
It is sponsored by Woodstock Honey. And now fighting out of the blue corner, he enters the ring wearing black trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 110.5 kilograms. He's 34 years old.
As you take a look at that tape, you see that Parker's actually a bit shorter. He's lighter, 14 years younger, and the reach is exactly the same.
With 9 big wins coming by way of KO.
That's one of the other great things about putting on the Woodstock Honey Fight for Life, and this is sponsored by Woodstock Honey for this bout. It gives our professional guys a chance to come in and sample all this hype and hoopla and the atmosphere of what a big boxing fight night's about. Even though the previous bouts have been charity guys from league and rugby, it still gives them a vehicle to gain that experience.
Well, this is still the punch per pay game, the pay per punch rather.
You see his body is tight, folks. That's a perfect body for professional boxing. His muscles aren't too heavy, so he hasn't got to carry the real weight of those big biceps. He's perfectly cut in the midsection, unlike some of the rugby guys who had those really muscle-bound guys with the washboard stomachs. This guy's got the perfect body for boxing, along with the called striated muscles.
And watch out for the straight left, jab, and the right. Good orthodox boxing.
The other thing too is you need to carry a little bit of extra fat when you're boxing too, to take the impact as we go to the judges and referees' instructions.
The rules. We'll have a clean fight, please. You must obey my commands at all times. Good luck to both of you. Shake hands, and when the bell rings, come out fighting.
This is a professional fight with professional rules, 10-point must scoring system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight if we get into any accidental fouls or headbutts. I'll explain to you the rule as it becomes pertinent. So we're set to go here. They're both in black trunks. They both have on black shoes. 3 white stripes coming down the side of Joseph Parker.
Shoes look virtually the same.
Maybe you can go by the white shoelaces when we have the wide shot for Joseph Parker.
Go by the style of punches, the guy on the left of your screen. So what can this guy bring to the ring that's going to make the young star work?
Well, he's got the experience, and we'll see. And that's what this fight is all about. So let's see how fast it gets going. To the left of your screen is Joseph Parker, the youngster, with a huge amateur pedigree. Totally different start than with the amateur fights.
Tutaki's normally a conventional fighter. He switched to southpaw, unusual.
Trying to do something to confuse the youngster, but look at right away. Parker goes to work on him, blasting shots to the body. Tutaki looks a little bit tentative. Now he's back fighting against an orthodox fighter. He came out as a southpaw. Now he's back fighting right-handed, jabbing with the left hand. Not moving much. Now he switches back and forth. Let me tell you something, folks, as you watch about guys that switch. When you switch back and forth and you're not a left-handed fighter, you're going to lose power, you're going to lose accuracy, and you're going to hit more. And watch what I mean. Bang, bang, and bang, bang, bang.
Got fast hands there from Parker. He's done his homework too. He's going to the body. He's not going overboard though. Still keeping tight. Tutaki, durable. He'll cover up and throw the odd ugly-looking shot back. He does have a bit of power despite how he looks.
Yeah, it's a big mistake to try and confuse Joseph Parker by turning around southpaw. He's fought a lot of southpaw fighters in the amateurs, not confusing him one bit. The power shots are being landed by Joseph. Tutaki tries to do something in the body. You're not going to hurt that body of young Joseph.
Just needs to tuck his chin down when he walks away from the clinch there.
See what I mean about the lack of accuracy with the punches? His jab is tentative. He doesn't have the snap with it. He tries to, land a decent left hand, but Tutaki's not effective at all. Joseph misses his shot. Standing right in front of him, he could use a little bit more movement. He could get that jab out a little bit more and follow with the right hand behind it. That's the double jab, but he doesn't connect with it. Got to turn that left shoulder in just a bit. I see what Kevin Barry means. A little bit raw, but he's got the tools.
Needs to change his angles a little bit, step back, second phase his shots.
And remember, this is only his third professional fight. He's only 20. He's winning the round easily, lands some nice uppercuts.
Remember, too, that Richard Tutaki Express was disappointed, didn't get a crack at Suddy Bill Williams.
Those right body shots are starting to hurt Tutaki. He's throwing them as a bit of an uppercut into the solar plexus there. They really start to hurt you. They can take your wind out of your sails straight away.
As you take a look at the clock, you see the time ticking away. These are 3-minute rounds now in the professional ranks. Tutaki doesn't appear to have a lot of power, and the reason I don't know why he's going to fight as a southpaw here. Parker is going to have an opportunity to load up some big shots here in a moment. Has one. He pushes him off, trying to get a big body shot, which he gets in. Now it's time to come upstairs, which he does. Yeah, the guy's got a lot of ability. He's got Tutaki a little bit shaken here.
Tutaki has to punch back. The referee will start to watch closely. No 8 counts, professional rules.
Remember, if a guy gets hit and he falls into the ropes and he otherwise would have gone down, they can score that as a knockdown, but it's not a standing 8 count. They'll give him an 8 count, but it's not a standing 8 count. Nice uppercut shots here now. Tutaki really not defending himself well, fighting as a southpaw. That's a Joseph Parker round.
It's a landslide round. Got to say, I'd like to see Joseph just step back a little bit. He doesn't have to infight with his man quite so much.
But remember, Mike, you're a fighter yourself. You know he's excited tonight. We talked about the big stage he's on. This is big stuff for this young kid, and he knows it's going all over the country, and it's only his 3rd professional fight, so I think he performed well. I'm surprised he didn't come out with his ears back more and let it flail. We might see him pick it up more in the 2nd round.
I think he wants to get a 1st round under his belt. What would he gain from a 1st round KO?
Well, that's the point of having a fighter like Tutaki in there at this point, is to give him a few more rounds. We know he's durable. You know, if you're getting them out of there in the 1st round, you've actually started to add some pop to your punches. Tutaki is, in many ways, he's a heavy bag, which poses a bit of danger when he does decide to fight back, but he needs to pick up his pace.
And by switching southpaw to orthodox, he's just perhaps prolonging the inevitable, but he is making the young guy work.
Well, conventional wisdom often says you want to attack a guy when he switches to southpaw, particularly if he's not natural in that way.
The problem is a double-edged sword for a professional fighter. If he knocked out Tutaki in the 1st round, they would have said Tutaki's nothing, he's got nothing left, ready to retire. And if it goes the full 6 rounds, they'll say Joseph Parker doesn't have the power. But Joseph does have the skills. I can see them right now. He's got a lot to learn. He still has a lot to learn. He'll have to go to the States and develop as a prize fighter with better sparring partners, but that's okay. Right now, it looks good.
See the power in this round.
Nice little short uppercut there on the right-hand side.
Tutaki will get worn down a bit in this round, and Joseph, with his youth and his power, will begin to show that any time. Now, you see, Tutaki doesn't have real good accuracy.
He's not throwing a straight left down the tubes as you'd expect for a southpaw to be effective.
He can't, because he's not a southpaw. That's the problem, Mike, that I was talking about. No accuracy of any of his punches because he's fighting in an unorthodox style for himself. Never mind for Joseph. Joseph's not shaken up by this at all.
Joseph's just going to work, continuing to thump away at that body.
Yeah, he's in his kitchen right now. There's the straight right hand. Everything going fine for him. He's not rushing it, but he's punishing him now. Body shots, back upstairs, come to the uppercut. Joseph hitting him with everything. Listen to the crowd react, too. They want to see a knockout. If Tutaki doesn't start answering, he doesn't go down, referee has every reason to stop the fight if the guy's defenseless. It's not quite at that stage yet. But Joseph is loading up some hellacious body shots right now.
We can, right above us ringside, we can really hear that shot resound around the stadium. We can also start to see redness on the right-hand side of Tutaki, or left-hand side rather.
So he's taking plenty of punishment, but when he slips back to being orthodox, he did land a couple of nice jabs there. Joseph Parker was coming in.
That's the way he should be fighting this fight, because he can't do anything as a southpaw. Now at least he paused with his jab. He looks like a spent fighter to me right now.
Well, if he's going to be a Chauncey Welliver like a punching bag, he's better off doing like that. The mouth guard's got
Here we go. Here comes the big shots now. This might end right now. There's plenty of time. Joseph loading up shots. Referee having a good look. There's about 10 unanswered some punches. And just as we say that, Tutaki comes back and begins to throw a little bit. Comes in and Joseph takes a little bit of a rest. Tries to do the paso doble there. Go past him.
We can see why they've got Tutaki in here, though. He is durable.
Yeah, he is. He's taking some good punishment and a lot of shots to the head. He's taken probably 20 shots to the
body
head.
shot.
That hurt him, and he's down. That liver shot might end the fight. Tutaki may not be able to recover from that. That's up to 4 and 5. He's taking the standing 8 count, but he may not be able to recover. He takes the 8 count. It depends on how much time is left right now. Joseph comes in, one more blast in that body, and that'll be lights out. There it goes, but on the wrong side. And he survives round number 2, but that one's a 10-8 round. So Joseph is doing exactly what he needs to do.
Picked his shots well in that round, Joseph Parker. He's got a durable opponent in front of him, so he's just taking his time, breaking him down slowly. That's all his handlers will want to see.
chopping down the tree. Leading off with that jab. Setting up to the rights. Body shots.
And that liver shot is the one that really does some damage.
Oh, that takes the breath away, and eventually you drop down to your knees. You'll see that happen as he just stands there and takes the barrage. Good straight right. Another backs it up. Sends the old mouth guard flying, and they're just pounding the body, pounding the head, upstairs, downstairs.
And here we go. That shot beautifully.
Shades of Shane Cameron there. You can see the grimace. That hurts.
Yeah, well, you got to give Tutaki credit. He got up from that, and that's a shot that will cripple many fighters.
Ask Oscar De La Hoya when he got whacked.
Yeah, Mickey
Like
Ward
Bernard
style.
Hopkins, yeah. Here we go. This is round 3. It's scheduled for 6, but I don't think we'll get out of this third round. Joseph continues to pummel this guy. The referee's going to have no choice but to stop this fight. He's fighting as a right-handed fighter now as Tutaki.
And immediately looking better, to be fair.
Yeah, he's starting to land a few shots. He's very tired. He needs to double his jab, but he's sloppy right now. His shoulders are squared up. Joseph takes a step back, whacked him in the head with that right hand. Look for the uppercut in here. There it is. Snap the head back. There it is again. Joseph doing everything right. Big right hand. That might hurt him. Tutaki is ready to go. I'm surprised the ref has let him go. He's hit him with about 10 or 12 really clean shots. Tutaki is out on his feet. Body shots, uppercuts. Everything. And this is exactly why they selected him for an opponent, because he's some kind of tough right now. Joseph whacks it. That's it. It won't go on. It's all over. The left uppercut, as you call it, Mike, is exactly right. Tutaki can't continue. It'll be a third-round knockout. Perfect for Joseph Parker.
Oh, he's complaining about the bite being stopped, but to be fair, Mr. Tutaki, you were getting pummeled.
No need complaining, mate. Should be a sense of the relief. Shane Cameron watching on.
Yeah, Shano's sent Richard to the canvas a couple of times himself.
Being a professional fight, the referee John Gillespie let it go as far as he could, and then with that vicious shot, that left uppercut, that was it, and the fight was over right there. Brownie and Mike, I want to thank you. I've got to run over to the other side for a second. Great work with you guys.
Always a pleasure, Colonel Bob. As we look at young Joseph Parker unleashing a barrage of nice body shots, good combinations, uppercuts, bullying. Tutaki Express onto the ropes and just completely dominating and doing what he had to do as a young professional for his third fight, and then bang, finishes him off in round 3.
Cracker of an uppercut there. Beautiful shot there. Answered questions about whether or not
he's got that power. Yep, and he's got the speed, he's got the durability, he's got the ring craft and the knowledge, and he would have got enough out of that fight to say it was a good step in the right direction on his way up. Just getting the gloves taken off by Joseph Parker with Marcelino Marcelli Richard Tutaki has
Ladies
done
and
his
gentlemen,
business. And we'll get the reaction from the young champ in the waiting, in the making.
59 seconds left in round number 3. Your winner by TKO, fighting out of the blue corner, Joseph Parker!
So, Mike, what did you think, mate?
Well, he started off well and just continued. He did a job. He broke the man down, and the man is notoriously hard to break down. Tutaki. He went to the body as told, and once he opened up the head, he did the job. And essentially that's it. He got to work out for 3 rounds. We haven't seen him sustain that pace so far in his career.
Well, Joseph. So, Joseph, and now it's 3-0, undefeated. How are you handling all the pressures? As Dan said, the next big thing in New Zealand boxing.
First of all, I'd like to thank God that we're able to be here today. Thanks everyone for coming out and supporting all the boys, rugby boys, and me and Rich. Just thankful for the win that we got. I know we trained hard, so I'm grateful that we got it.
How much more are you learning every fight you take on?
Now that fight, you can see I'm still throwing too many punches and wasting them, like my coach said in the corner. But every fight I learn from it, so hopefully we can take it back and practice and learn.
We're near the end of the year. What's the plan now going into 2013? How many fights are you expecting to do?
Just leave everything up to the promoters and managers to decide. I think they got about 8 fights lined up next year, so we'll just take it as it comes and looking forward to them.
You're going to be busy. Happy Christmas. Well done.
Thank you, and I'd just like to make a shout out to my uncle Rudy Bass. He's not here, and Yosef Apollo, who's my sparring partner, couldn't be here, so shout out to them.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Yes, one of the key things that Joseph Parker was talking about was getting that ability to learn from each fight as he makes the step up. And I suppose as we take a look back at some of the highlights, early detection is one of the keys here, to work out exactly what the other guy is doing to try and avoid being hit, and then put your own game plan and your own style, what you need to get out of it. And he said he probably threw a few too many punches, some air punches that can waste a lot of energy and use up some of your mental strength without actually landing those big blows that effectively give the knockout. But there's a good right there, good straight body punches. Then he started to mix them up and work them down and work them away and put them down.
I think Marcelino Marseille would have been saying to him, you know, sometimes you have to mix up your punches. You be economical. Not everyone has to be a bomb, particularly against a durable opponent. You break him down, you set him up and break him down, you create the openings, and in this case, there were plenty of them. Richard Tutaki would just fire back from time to time to give him enough respite in the referee's eyes. He got dropped by that liver shot, started out on fire in that 3rd round, but in the end, Parker opened him up with the left hook.
And then caught him with the uppercut to finish him off when he knew that he was there for the taking. Just get that knockout punch, and that's what the fans come to see. Well, they want to see good boxing, not just the hurt game. They want to see some good fighting, some good skills, and they got that tonight from Joseph Parker, 3-0. And of course, talking a bit about early detection, that's what this fight night's been all about, you know, avoiding prostate cancer. I mean, Joseph Parker's doing the business there as a young pro.